यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Gaur, Jaya Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Nitai, Shri Shri Gaur, Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Your Nam Sankirtan ki. Hare Krishna. So today we're reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, and first verse. I have to share the screen also. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Another question or something, these early days, I don't know much, like Dinesh wrote up, I wrote up, but in general, police also from Aravindaih. So in case someone shifts into voice in Aravindaih, that accepted considered very good. So prayer is one of them. Then the people separate prayer was one of them. Later on, after he came to this, I got to know a purpose of him very long time. So lockdown time project had a new standard because all of us were attending Mangalapi home and each of us went in Mangalapi in our own space. We were like one of them. What projects to do? Projects to like in voice, especially Mangalapi. And project in his room, in home, close to the door, does all the dancing steps. Dancing, protecting, front to back, submission, something like this. Seeing that all the maybe some 20 devotees are there in the room, 20 boxes will say 20 devotees dancing. And project from the chanting, because another two calls in a start, because posture is very, very nice. And later on, this is discussion about multiple times that this joining line is very, very difficult. There's a big story, I cannot big story, very too much information to and project compassion as well as the ceremony when I was in 12th, I used to get, frustrated with those words because I had to collapse with them. And I began the college at Saint College in Chennai. So, but Rosie used to go to each and every boy, very compassionate, and they used to go for chanting, all that and all. So, as a result, two boys are continuing still. So, there's no difference between
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srivyasa Uvacha Iti Bruvanam Samstuya Muninam Dirgha Satrinam Vriddha Kulapati Sutam Bhavrucha Shaunako Bravit Iti Bruvanam Samstuya Muninam Dirgha Satrinam Vriddha Kulapati Sutam Bhavrucha Shaunako Bravit Iti Bruvanam Samstuya Muninam Dirgha Satrinam Vriddha Kulapati Sutam Bhavrucha Shaunako Bravit Muninam Dirgha Satrinam Vriddha Kulapati Sutam Bhavrucha Shaunako Bravit Iti Bruvanam Samstuya Muninam Dirgha Satrinam Vriddha Kulapati Sutam Bhavrucha Shaunako Bravit. Mataji, what you would like to receive? Okay. Iti Bruvanam Samstuya Dirgha Satrinam Vriddha Kulapati Sutam Shaunako Bravit. Word to word meaning. Vyasaha Vyasadev Uvacha said Iti thus Bruvanam speaking Samstuya congratulating Muninam of the great sages Dirgha prolonged Satrinam of those engaged in the performance of sacrifice Vrittaha elderly Kulapatihi head of the assembly Sutam unto Suta Goswami Bhauruchaha learned Shaunakaha of the name Shaunaka Abravit address. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki. Translation. Sri Vasudeva said, on hearing Suta Goswami speak thus, Shaunaka Muni, who was the elderly, learned leader of all the rishis, engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Suta Goswami by addressing him as follows. Purport. In a meeting of learned men, when there are congratulations or addresses for the speaker, the qualifications of the congratulator should be as follows. He must be the leader of the house and an elderly man. He must be vastly learned also. Sri Shaunak Rishi had all these qualifications, and thus he stood up to congratulate Sri Suta Goswami when he expressed his desire to present Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam exactly as he heard it from Shukdev Goswami and also realized it personally. Personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharya. One must have full confidence in the previous acharya, and at the same time, one must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Yet, it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. This is called realization. The leader of the assembly, Shaunaka, could estimate the value of the speaker, Sri Suta Goswami, simply by his uttering Yathadhitam and Yathamati in the previous verse. And therefore, Shaunaka was very glad to congratulate him in ecstasy. No learned man should be willing to hear a person who does not represent the original Acharya. So the speaker and the audience were bona fide in this meeting where the Bhagavatam was being recited for the second time. That should be the standard of recitation of the Bhagavatam, so that its real purpose can be served and Lord Krishna can be realized without difficulty. Unless this situation is created, Bhagavatam recitation will be for ulterior purposes, and such recitation is useless labor both for the speaker and for the audience. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I seek blessings of all the senior devotees here, not qualified by age, by spiritual, whatever knowledge, understanding, realization, whatever it may be. But I'm told to do so this service. I'm just trying to follow my superiors' instructions and for my own purification and glorification of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the personalities in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So yes. So here we can see the wonderful the starting of fourth chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I mean first canto of Bhagavatam. So here before we already saw how Suta Goswami, who was the speaker, correct, what was his qualification and what is the qualification of speaker, and here I think we already heard a couple of classes about that. So in this verse also there is a qualification of congratulator. So usually in assembly the speaker, whenever we invite some senior devotee to the center, so sometimes they ask whether you are there. So if you say no, then I'll not come. So you should be there as a senior member of the center. If you're not there, then what is the point in coming? So basically, when seniors we invite, we are there, and then we actually introduce them and into the audience, and then so that audience also gets to know about them, and then they also develop some respect. So without that respect, it is not possible to hear, to open our ears to the personality who is speaking, and also to actually understand. It's told that when the hearer is very eager, very earnest, very honestly wanting to learn, so then Krishna actually reveals that knowledge through the speaker also. So many times the speaker himself is amazed how such statements or such words or such things came, revelations came from his mouth, because he is not the actor, correct? No, so Krishna is acting through him because the hearers are so earnest and eager to learn. So Krishna makes those words to come through the mouth of the speaker. And also here the qualification of congratulator is what? One thing is elderly amongst all of them, and also learned leader. So he is also learned, and also is, yeah, basically he's elderly. So Shaunaka was elderly amongst all those rishis, and also he was very learned. That's why you can see in Bhagavatam many times Shaunaka Rishi speaks series of verses. We may be thinking, Are, who is the speaker, Shaunaka Rishi or Sutta Goswami? Correct, no? So because he is elderly man, but in that way he also asks questions. Sometimes the seniors in the center, they also sit in the class, they hear, and then later after the class they ask questions on behalf of the all other audience also. So in that way, Shaunak Rishi is very learned. At the same time, he is asking questions for the benefit of everyone. Here, this is called Vaishnava etiquette. So here, the atmosphere of Vaishnava etiquette is very much stressed. So when that Vaishnava etiquette is maintained in the society, then we can see that there is actually the benefit of hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So here the etiquette is this, yeah, this congratulator, the elderly man, learned man, he is congratulating the speaker. And speaker himself cannot be speaking for his own purpose, for his own glorification, for his own fame, or sometimes he's here, as Prabhupada told, he's concocting something and he's telling his own theory, correct? No? So which is not there in Bhagavatam, which is not in line with Shastras, Acharyas. Sometimes we hear some classes, it's completely off track. Some devotee gives example of some war scenario, and then the war this country happened war with this country, how they strategized and this and that. Of course, it derives lesson, but that only maybe 5 minutes of the class. But the whole 40 minutes of the class was full description of the war, how it happened. So that's not what our acharyas want, right? Prabhupada, if you see, even though something material is there, he will bring the spiritual point that your spirit soul, your part and parcel of God, and you have to chant Hare Krishna. Correct, no? So Bhagavad Gita is very what they call evident of it. So because we see Karma Yoga also, Prabhupada speaks Bhakti Yoga only. You go to Jnana Yoga part, there also he speaks Bhakti Yoga. So wherever you go, so Prabhupada speaks that yes, you have to chant Hare Krishna and go back to God. Even Ashtanga Yoga, 6th chapter, there also Prabhupada says that how you have to chant Hare Krishna and go back to God. 8th chapter, if you see every purport, Prabhupada is writing full Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we should know the mood and mission of our acharyas, and accordingly we should speak to please them and also to benefit the audience. So that is also the qualification of the speaker. And also he should not be proud and arrogant, and he should be wanting the permission and the blessings of seniors, the senior devotees, the present. So though the seniors are there, he literally he begs for permission and blessings from them. If not, even if they're not there, so in the heart, in the mind, he actually meditates and he wants that blessings. He begs for the blessings of seniors. So with that blessings, he will be able to speak something beneficial for all the hearers, for the audience. So till then, it is not possible. And also, what are the qualifications of hearer? So he must hear for what purpose? First thing is he should have respect for the speaker. So when that respect is there, then the knowledge flows in. Even if you see materially, if you go to college, we also have some respect to some teacher. That subject we learn very nicely. Sometimes we don't have respect. We make fun of him and things like that. We also get bad marks in that subject, right? So that respect is required, and then eagerness, earnestness to learn, to understand, and realize the subject matter. So in that way, we can see here in the purport Prabhupada speaks. Yeah. First thing he speaks about the senior member should be present, and is the like once what happened, there was one program, and one of the brahmacharis was invited to that program. It was a house program, and husband was and Prabhuji called him. So husband, whether you are there in the home during the program. So he told, no, no, my wife will be there, and all the audience will be there, so you can come. Then Prabhuji told, Arey, then if you are there, then how I can come? Just your wife and then some ladies they are coming. Now I cannot come. So he was telling like that. Basically, the person who is inviting, the leader, should be present. Correct. That is, and once it was Prabhupada times. So it was a Vyas Puja of Śrīla Prabhupada and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. You know, I think Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So he was there, and but he was in the kitchen. He was cooking for the feast for that program, and then there was Guru Puja started, and some other devotee he told some other devotee, you do Guru Puja, and then later we started Guru Puja. Then Prabhupada asked, where is Tamal? Then they told that Maharaj is cooking. I mean, he's there inside. And he told, call him. And then he called, and then Maharaj came. And then Prabhupada said, the senior member of the place should be doing Guru Puja. This is a Vyas Puja day. It's very important day. You cannot take it so lightly. So, like that, this is some practical lessons, correct? We can learn from this purport that yes, the senior member should be present. And one more thing is here we can see that personal realization does not mean that one should out of vanity attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharya. So this is something very amazing. Prabhupada stresses in the whole purport, he stresses more on the humility of the speaker. So more on that aspect. So once one class was going on, there one Swami was giving class, he's a sannyasi, and one boy in between he was raised a hand, and later he again put it down. And then some more class continued, and after the class, one devotee asked, "Hey, you were wanting to ask some question." Actually, Maharaj himself asked, "You want to ask some question?" Then he told no. And later he told to one another devotee that actually I wanted to ask a question, but I thought maybe Maharaj will not be able to answer. So can you imagine he was thinking maybe it's some technical question, or maybe Maharaj will not be able to understand or answer or anything like that. But the pure devotee of Lord is on another platform. He is directly in touch with Paramatma in the heart. So he can actually answer such questions. Like Prabhupada, he smashed even big scientists, correct? No, left, right, center. So nobody could stand before him. Yesterday only we were seeing some small video. I think you are ever well wisher. There was full scholars, big scholars, scientists sitting, and then Prabhupada is conversing with them, and he's telling directly that yes, if you're atheist, you don't believe in God, then he says God comes as death. So when he comes, he takes everything, your scholarly, your PhD degree, your that, your this, your wealth, your money, your home, everything will be taken away. Then you'll realize God. So you cannot deny it, as sure as death. So God is sure. Like that, Prabhupada concluded that. In that way, everybody was very happy actually, even hearing such very heavy statements, because Prabhupada spoke with that compassion. So they were able to take it. Yeah, so we should not think that acharyas or the seniors, they doesn't know, they don't understand. So thinking ourselves great, so I know better, etc., etc. So we should have that full faith in the acharya. So even this example comes of Sridhar Swami. So Sridhar Swami came, he wrote a commentary on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And sorry, who was that? Vallabhacharya. Vallabhacharya wrote a commentary and he wanted to show it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And actually, before that, also there was one incident where he actually says that, Are, why are you chanting Krishna's names? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeats that argument. What argument Vallabhacharya gives? He says that, so do you see anywhere in the Vedic society, now it is different, but any wife calling the name of a husband? No, right? He never calls the name, she never calls the name of a husband. So that's why you should not call out the names of Krishna. We are like a Prakriti. Krishna is Purusha. So he's like a husband. We should not never call the names of Krishna. So that argument he gave. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completely defeated that argument. He said that, yeah, wife, real chaste wife means she follows the instruction of a husband. And then here, Lord Himself is telling us to chant His holy names. So that is the instruction of a husband. So we have to follow. So in that way, we have to chant. In that way, he defeated that argument of Vallabhacharya. So another time, Vallabhacharya came and then he wrote a commentary on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and then he came and showed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he had that intention that I have written something better than Sridhar Swami. So Sridhar Swami is a Acharya before even Vallabhacharya. So he felt like that little bit, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't like that. So you are surpassing the previous Acharya. So he didn't like that proud in the heart of Vallabhacharya. So to teach that lesson, he just neglected him. So he didn't even hear it. He many times didn't even see what he showed and things like that. And because of that, many devotees, all the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they also neglected him. They also didn't want to hear what he has written. But somehow he found, I think, Gadadhar Pandit, who was very mild. So he used to catch him and tell him his commentary, and then he used to hear for his pleasure. And basically, in that way, he was never listened. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu neglected, and later, actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught a lesson. Basically, they are all great acharyas, be it Vallabhacharya and all the devotees. We cannot say that they are something, we cannot put them down. But at the same time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our Lord, teaches lessons to us through his devotees. So that's how he teaches. So in that way, we can learn a lesson how we should not be proud of our own learning, and we should not surpass the previous acharyas, the seniors that are above us. Yeah. So, but at the same time, one must here realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. The original purpose of the text must be maintained. So even Prabhupada also, if you see so much faith in the previous acharyas. So once I think that time, Prabhupada time, their moon landing that was going on, correct? No, it was coming in the TV, and then they were showing in the TV show and all. Then the Purushottam was telling Prabhupada, seems like they have gone to moon. There, it's coming in TV also and all that. And then Prabhupada said, no. He had full faith in previous acharyas. They cannot go. So like that she told. And later Purushottam went inside. I think Mataji was cooking in the some Mataji was cooking in the kitchen, and then she was shouting, and then he told go and help her. And then Purushottam went inside. It some blast, something happened. Whole smoke was coming, and when they came out, whole their faces were black. Everything was black, smoky, soot. And then Prabhupada told, looks like Purushottam has gone to moon and come back. So Prabhupada was joking. So he had full faith in previous acharyas that yes, they cannot. So that is the faith required. And many times we have faith in our own things, correct? We should have faith in the acharyas, what they have told. And here it's told about one must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. But the original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. It should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. This is called realization. It's a very wonderful definition of realization Prabhupada gives. That it should be in line with the acharyas, in line with the scriptures. At the same time, you should personally understand and apply and realize it, and give examples and try to make understand the audience also to make it easy. That's why you can see Prabhupada also, the style of speaking is he takes one concept, he tells that, he quotes some shlokas, and then he gives many examples one after another to clarify, to easily understand that concept. And then he again takes another concept. Again, he gives examples. So like that, even Radheshyam Prabhu gives so many examples, correct, to understand. So like that, we should understand. Here it is told, first thing is knowledge. So when we hear, we get knowledge. So when we have knowledge, that itself is not enough. It should turn to understanding. And the understanding should turn to realization. So when you have knowledge, how will it turn to understanding? By thinking on it. Contemplative thinking, we call it. So when you have that contemplative thinking, like for example, we hear something about the pastime of Ajamil, for example, and then we hear and then we contemplate that Ajamil was how did he fall down? He was from such a nice background, correct? No, he was a Brahman family, and then he went out for forest for what purpose? To get some flowers for worship of the deities. So his father had told, go and bring flowers. And went to forest for the religious purpose. And then he fell down. He fell down for sinful activity. How is it possible? So we can think how, yes, yeah, then we can think, okay, he was Brahmana and then he knows all the shlokas, and still he fell down. So we get many lessons out of it. We develop understanding. Yes, he went out for a spiritual purpose, but when he saw a bad sight, a Shudra and Shudrani embracing and they're intoxicated, then he didn't leave that place. He stayed there and he wanted to see it again and again. So in that way, one lesson. And then we also see that he was a Brahmana. He knew when he saw actually he recited many shlokas. So, what is like for sense control, we can say what is that? By contemplating, we get attachment. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshupajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. Like that, he recited many, many verses, but nothing came to help. It's like, especially in South India, I was hearing that people, they say that if you get into some stress, some lamentation, then you recite this shloka for 500 times. Ashochananvashocastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gatasu nagatasumscha nanushocanti pandita. So you recite this 500 times and then shloka will go away. Correct, no? So will it happen? Without understanding the meaning of the shloka, just reciting the shloka. Of course, Krishna may be merciful, so many times he has recited. So internally he may remove the lamentation. But at the same time, we should put our effort also to understand and to realize the subject matter. So that is very important. Yeah. And then example is given like this for that Ajamil, correct, no? So even with some worldly examples, we can understand and the subject matter more clearly. During Ajamil, when he saw the bad side, that example is given of like swimmer. If you are a very strong swimmer, then you can go and protect someone who is drowning. But if you are a weak swimmer, you yourself are struggling, so you may save yourself little bit, that much you know swimming. But you go and give hand to the drowning man, what happens? You also drown in along with him, correct, no? So like that, we should know our strength. So Ajamila, he just stayed there and he fell down for it, correct, no? If you would have just walked away, it's not my strength. So, but Haridas Thakur, if you see, he was a strong swimmer, correct, no? He had that spiritual strength and he knew about it and he stayed back. And when prostitute came, why he stayed back? To deliver the prostitute. So Haridas Thakur was delivered the prostitute, whereas the Ajamila fell down for sinful activity. So in that way, some worldly examples also we can see. Like Prabhupada was there. He went to Western countries. So hippies all around. Everybody is drinking, smoking, and then illicit sex, drugs, etc., etc. But Prabhupada was never affected by it. He actually informed, in turn, transformed their lives. Hippies became happies. So that we can see like that. And even Narada Muni, it said that Ajamila saw a bad sight. Okay, somebody was half naked and embracing. And even Narada Muni also saw Nalakur and Manigriv, they were naked, and then even some ladies were there in the Mandakini Ganga, the place of Lord Shiva, where they were bathing and enjoying. And then he also saw Nalkor and Manigrave, but what happened? He actually transformed their hearts. Basically, he delivered them. Correct? No, he didn't get affected himself. So he cursed them, but that curse was a benediction. So that was a benediction in disguise. He cursed them that you become trees, but then when he told you become trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, you will see all the pastimes of Krishna, and at the end, Krishna will come and deliver you. So that was a benediction actually, though it was a curse. So in that way, you can see Narad Muni was a pure devotee of Lord. So then we can understand, alright, I should become a pure devotee, not a karma kandi Brahmana just doing some rituals, reciting some shlokas, etc., etc. So in that way, we can understand the subject matter by contemplative thinking. When we get the knowledge, we have to little bit spend time to contemplate and think about the subject matter. Then it transforms into understanding. Yeah. Like that, whenever we hear something, we can give some similar examples, some contrasting examples or opposite examples, or sometimes compare, contrast, or they call evaluate, like this Ajamila and then Narada Muni, whatever we are hearing. So that is like evaluation. So how can I, what should I be? So this is the situation of Ajamila, this is Narada Muni, so I should become like Narada Muni. So pure devotee of Lord, not just get stuck in karma kandi rituals like that. We'll just share one small PPT, so which is it talks about this realization. Yeah. Realization, what is it and what it is not, and these are some topics. So here I think this is the purport we already read. Personal realization does not mean that one should out of vanity attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharya. He must have full confidence in the previous acharya, and at the same time he must realize the subject matter so nicely that he can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. Right? So we already read. Personal realization does not mean that one should, out of vanity, attempt to show one's own learning by trying to surpass the previous acharya. A preacher should have full confidence in the previous acharya, must realize the subject matter nicely, can present the matter for the particular circumstances in a suitable manner. While speaking on a subject, the original purpose of the text must be maintained. No obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. Yet it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. So sometimes it happens when we are preaching to college students or corporates. So it's called bridge preaching. Bridge preaching means they're not so much knowing about devotional life, etc. So we speak something, some technical things and etc. etc. to make them understand this. Like even the PPTs which we use prepared by Radhesham Prabhu, we can see so much of science is there. There is some Fibonacci series, some video, and there is all this chemical, what they call bondings, how they are made. So everything is designed just to say that statement that everything in this world, from micro world to the macro world, everything is properly designed. So that's not haphazard. So design means there should be a designer. Just to share that point, we show all those 14 Bravis lattice structures and all that. So that is like, yeah, that is allowed. It's basically we are understanding and then we are presenting it for their understanding because they're coming from science background. We have to teach them through science. So, but no obscure meaning should be screwed out of it. So that means sometimes we hear something like what we can say. Any example you can give? Yes, bro. I thought you were raising hand. Obscure meaning. One simple example we give like Zakir Hussain. I think I don't know. Looks there is one person. So basically, he quotes different scriptures from Bhagavad Gita, etc., and then screws different meaning out of it. So our own people, they don't know, they have not read Bhagavad Gita, and they go and hear him, and they get confused. Why it is told like this in Bhagavad Gita? They don't hear from a proper a bona fide authority, spiritual master. So he once told that in Bhagavad Gita it is told everybody has to drink tea. Where it is told, sir? Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. That means sarvasya, everyone should drink cha, tea, hridhi sannivishto, which is prepared on top of the stove. Correct, no? So like that, some people screw some meaning out of it just to for their own pleasure, for presenting their own idea. They take from Bhagavad Gita. Like Prabhupada says, one personality was carrying Bhagavad Gita everywhere, and then national leader, etc. And then he used to say that he is teaching non-violence from Bhagavad Gita, etc. So, but Prabhupada said, "Arey, where it is all spoken on battlefield, where is it they are given in Bhagavad Gita? It is after hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna fought full violence. Correct, no? So of course, non-violence is there, but it is not the only thing. There is a place for non-violence. There is a place for violence. Where adharma is happening, yes, violence is allowed. So to establish dharma. So somebody asked Prabhupada also, what will you do if there is some adharma going on? He said, yes, as a Kshatriya, one has to establish dharma. For that, he has to fight. So if required, yes, Vaishnavas can fight to establish dharma. Like that Prabhupada said. Somebody told non-violence. I think some Buddhist person. He told you should never become angry. You should always follow non-violence, etc. Then Prabhupada asked him, "What if one of your female disciples is going with you and some other man comes and misbehaves with her?" Then he says, "I'll keep silent." Then she will go away. What kind of spiritual master is he? He's not able to protect. No? So like that, Prabhupada said, as a spiritual master, yes, he has to take some. I mean, as a devotee, if there is some adharma going on, yes, he has to take some actions. So he cannot just sit quiet. So that way, Prabhupada is to say. So obscure meaning should not be screwed out of it. Yet it should be presented in an interesting manner for the understanding of the audience. How to get personal realization? Pursue a dialogue with ourselves. Here it's given about preaching. Why am I preaching? How convinced am I? Do I really believe in Krishna as the highest expression of Godhead? So it's not only about preaching, even whatever we hear, like now Bhagavatam class we hear and then we go out of Bhagavatam class. Then we forget everything. Instead, we can just question what did I hear? So Prabhu told some point like this, how I can apply. So, or why did he tell like this? So some questions we can put on ourselves. That's a mental dialogue that is going on. Many times mental dialogue goes on a material platform. So, or why did this devotee insulted me? So why this person did like this to me and etc etc. Or I don't have money, I should get a better job and this that mental dialogue keeps going on. But instead, our mental dialogue should be what we heard, what we read from Prabhupada books. So we have to create own dialogues in our mind. That's what he's telling. Pursue a dialogue with ourselves. Are you preaching on a personal conviction that we have something important to offer others, or just repeating the words like a parrot? Or are we preaching because Prabhupada has told us, discover pockets of resistance to bolster our faith? So, like that, if you choose to live with unexamined faith, we will become complacent and ritualistic. So, we have to examine our faith. If we don't examine, then we become complacent and ritualistic. So, basically, he is telling that we should always ask questions, have dialogues, and understand it better. Just we already discussed about Ajamila, Narad Muni. Like that, we can have some other pastime. We can compare. Like there is Dhruva Maharaj and there is Hiranyakashipu. What relation they have? Austerities. Both of them performed austerities. So Dhruva Maharaj also performed austerities. Hiranyakashipu also performed austerities. Then what else? What similar things? What contrasting things you can see? Yes. Both of them wanted something material initially, correct? No. So that is something similar in both of them. What else? Whom they approached. Dhruva Maharaj approached whom? Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Whereas Hiranyakashipu approached the Brahmaji, who is a demigod. Correct, no? What else? Dhruva Maharaj's heart got purified by performing austerities, whereas Hiranyakashipu, he became still more proud after performing austerities, got the benediction, became even more proud. His heart became more petrified. He committed more sinful activities, and then finally Lord had to come to kill him. Correct? No? To liberate him from this body. Yes. So like that, so you can take some comparisons and make some contrasting examples. So when we do that, mental dialogue should go on. So that way we actually develop personal realization. Yes. I also don't know. We'll just check. Pockets of resistance means sometimes we have some resistance that will be obstacle on the faith, on our understanding and on our faith. Some doubts basically they'll be lingering around. So we have to discover them, and then we have to clarify those doubts. So when we clarify those doubts, then we actually develop our faith becomes very conviction develops. So when that faith is very firm, then we can practice bindas, like we can go on in spiritual life happily. It's like kind of with that faith we just walk on the spiritual life very easily. When even Krishna says, no, what is that about doubt in Bhagavad Gita? Vinashyati, he says that one who has doubts will be destroyed. So that doesn't mean you should not ask doubts, should not have doubts. But when we have doubts, we should clarify with our seniors, ask questions, and then read Prabhupada books. Many doubts will be clarified when we read Prabhupada books itself. So Prabhupada himself is present in his books. So Prabhupada is not, physically may not be there, but he told that I am there in my books and I will be there with my sincere follower. So these two places Prabhupada told I am there. So when we read Prabhupada books, then also many doubts gets clarified. If still doubts are there, we can clarify with our seniors. Yeah, I think one with actual conviction can make Krishna consciousness irresistibly attractive. A speaker of Krishna conscious philosophy who delivers a lecture but has no intent to transform hearts and life of hearer is not a preacher. So, but a pujar is doing worship of deities, but is meditating on his service as a part of preaching mission. He is a preacher. So in that way, we should know we should not go by externals. Oh, this devotee is speaking nicely, or is a great preacher, etc., etc. But the intention matters. So in that way, we should. The Prabhupada is telling who is a preacher. So what is intention he has. You can see, I think Jananivas Prabhu, Pankajangri Prabhu. So they came from London. I think they were twins, and Prabhupada told them just worship the deities in Mayapur. And from the day one they came, they never left Mayapur. Be it flood, so many times flood used to come, and then water used to be there till here. Narsimha deity is covered till neck, and then they used to take a boat and go and then worship Narsimdev, have Mangalarti. Sometimes snakes used to come in this, along with snakes they used to do Mangalarti, and then they come back in the boat. So that dedication they showed, and now we can see that so thousands, millions of people throng over to Mayapur, correct, no? To see the deities. So attractive. I think Radha Madhav is here. They are from Mayapur. So they are being served by such great souls. So do you think they're doing preaching or no? Such amazing preaching, correct, no? So just doing deity worship, but their heart is, by doing this, so many people will be attracted to Krishna consciousness. So that way they are preaching. So it's not about activity. It's not about what you do, but it's about consciousness. So what intention you have behind that activity. So like this, we can go on speaking about developing personal realization. This is a topic mainly today. That's about how to convert knowledge into understanding, and then understanding into realization. So basically, when you apply that understanding, it becomes realization. When you think contemplatively, think about the knowledge you got, that becomes understanding. So knowledge turns into understanding by contemplative thinking, and understanding becomes realization by applying it in our own life. Yes, I think we'll pause it here. It's already 29. If somebody has some questions, comments. Yes. Hmm. ಹೌದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ. Reveals who is it. Hmm. Hmm. Correct. Yeah, different devotees have different moods. Sometimes devotees may not like the introduction, but at least devotees know that he is a very senior man. Correct? No, he has spent so many years in Krishna consciousness, and he has seen, correct, at least so many years in Krishna consciousness, and at least that part they know, and they have the respect. Not like they don't have. Whatever whoever speaker comes in ISKCON, they know, yes, he has spent so many years and at least better than me. Like, sometimes even in age he may be junior, but we should the hearing, that is the mood of hearing, no, that we discussed. If the mood of hearing is not like, okay, I know better, then it is very difficult to take anything from him. So even a great whatever person, father can learn from son. I think in Chaitanya Charitamrita it comes, Raghunandan, his son. No, Raghunath. Who is that? Raghunandan and Mukunda. So, who is the father? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks Raghunandan, your father or your son is your father? Then he says, yes, my son Mukunda is only my father. Because he says that he has more realized knowledge. He can directly converse with the Lord because he used to offer food stuff to the Lord and Lord would directly take and eat it. Correct. No? So father was really amazed seeing it. That way he said, he is my father. The age, whatever, it doesn't matter, but you should know the realization he has. Even if you don't know the whether he is advanced or not advanced, still we can humbly, submissively hear, and we know, we should also know, we should have also read Prabhupada books, etc. So if somebody is deviant from the philosophy, is going off track, then as a senior, or we should ask questions to just to clarify that deviation. Or you can, if you are in senior position, then you can also advise him. So it is not like this, it's like this, etc. So otherwise, there is no point in, yeah, becoming proud. Correct. It's always good to hear from the senior. So you are asking basically whether to congratulate or not. Sometimes we congratulate the speaker, sometimes we don't. Sometimes so it doesn't matter. It depends on speaker's mood. So whatever his mood is, we can follow. We don't have to forcefully tell, "Eh, Prabhuji, no, I have to introduce you. Till wait, wait." He's telling no need of introduction, then you are forcefully wanting to introduce him. That is not required. So, but devotees, no, that is not a problem. Hearing itself is sufficient. Once they open their mouth, as you said, we can know their realizations and we can understand. Okay. Yeah, we don't have to worry for preaching whether I'm in the level of knowledge or in the understanding or in the platform of realization. We will not be on the platform of realization, but at least on the platform of knowledge, like we know, then you speak it. At least we remember the points, correct? In our difficult times, it comes. Even Prabhupada said, some devotees asked Prabhupada, what about us? We don't know anything. So we should preach or not, or first we hear everything and then become very scholarly and then later we start preaching. But Prabhupada said, you hear two statements and repeat two statements. So that is preaching. That's what Prabhupada said. So basically, he meant that uh, when we preach, at least one person will become devotee ourselves. Correct, no? So if other person will become devotee or not. So when we have just the knowledge, theoretical knowledge, when we speak, at least we become devotees. And when we have realization of that knowledge, when we have applied it ourselves and practiced it for many years, then when we speak, then the other person also heart gets transformed and he also becomes devotee. So that is a difference, but it's inevitable. We are in the preaching movement, correct now. So movement means just to move. For that preaching is very much required. So it doesn't matter whatever platform we are in, we can speak. Yes. Even for me, I don't know. I am not like good speaker or I were to speak and then usually I used to avoid a lot of times if somebody asks to give class. And then but I when I once gave, then I understood that I had to prepare a lot. I had to hear so many lectures and then I had to read some things and all. Then those 2 days, at least 2 3 days, was very absorbing for me. So in that way, I benefited a lot from that. Otherwise, mind is going here and there. At least you have to give class, then you're what I have to speak, what examples I can give. The mind goes in that contemplative mode, and it's so much helpful, beneficial for myself. So that's why sometimes somebody asks now, then I say okay, because at least it benefits me. Like now, whether others devotees will be able to take it or not, but at least benefits me. Yes. Yes.
So many times we see that we look at realization of but those realizations do not last long. So what are the thoughts and what are the solution for transit realization?
Yes. Realizations, or we can say revelations, we get because realization means it is permanent. Once you are realized means you cannot again go back to no realization. So realization means it's permanent, or if it is temporary, we call it revelation. We get some revelations, and then we also lose those revelations. So Lord gives those revelations at particular time when we have that mood of humble, submissive attitude, and also we are in association of devotees. So we can know when we got those realizations. What was my situation? So, like for example, we're in association of devotees, hearing from them, and then we are practicing very nicely. That is the time when we got some revelation. So we can try to be in such situations more and more. Many times we go out of that situation and then we lose those revelations. So in that way, we can try to be in the association of devotees in the humble mood, be in the mood of servant, without ego, serve them. So then those relations come. So this whatever we spoke now, this all these PPTs, etc. That yes, you have to do thinking, then it will turn into understanding, then do apply, and it turn into realization. This is only part of our endeavor, but there is also requirement of mercy. Correct, no? So these two fingers that we see in Damodar Lila. So that is mercy and endeavor. So our endeavor should be there. At the same time, we need to seek for mercy, beg for it, pray for it. So when we get mercy of the Lord, mercy of the seniors, so that happens when we serve and please the Vaishnavas, serve and please the Lord. So when that mercy flows down, then the revelations continue in our life, day after day, month after month, decade after decade. So we get newer and newer realizations, and we are ecstatic, joyful, going on in devotional life. So that way we need to seek for mercy. When chanting, that's what we do, correct? Beg for mercy. So in one audio I was hearing, Maharaj was telling that yes, we have so many anarthas, lust, anger, greed, all these things, and then we don't want it. We want to get rid of it, and while chanting, that's what we pray. By the your mercy, O Lord, I can get rid of all these things. So please bestow your mercy upon me. Please be merciful. So we are begging for that mercy, and Also, we are serving Vaishnavas. So it's told every Vaishnava is a carrier of mercy of Srimati Radharani to whatever capacity. And then when we serve and please them, then that part of mercy of Srimati Radharani flows to us also. So, and that way we can collect mercy from many, many sources, and then we can actually have those realization. So otherwise it is difficult. It's not only our endeavor, it's also mercy factors involved. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.